they always feel like, oh, yeah, she's definitely lying. Maybe there's a man there that is just giving, so she's here lying to us that it's her business, giving her all of this.
I think especially why because this is not the first time we're hearing this, and it's not just you. So many successful.
Yeah.
Why do they always ascribe that a popular man?
Because it's, do you get a few? I want to break that stereotype.
Yeah,
it's going to be hard. People will use nasty things just to make you feel worthy. And then our own generation now are here to break the stereotype because we are going to get everything we want to get.
So being a northern or female go-getter is actually not the norm.
It's not the norm.
Being enrolled by a particular man is norm. So when you are trying to, stand out, that is when it looks like you are doing something out of the ordinary.
Because they always tell you that, what are you looking for? Why do you want to have your own money? Are you not supposed to marry? Because once you marry, the man is going to take care of you.
Yeah.
But how many men are here today that take 100% take care of the women?
Because the economy does not.
Exactly. So you have to, as a woman, also go your own money. So at the end of the day, nobody, not certain, your husband today can actually be broke tomorrow.
Yeah.
Do you get? If you have kids, what if that man is no longer here? Do you get? How are you supposed to take care of kids if you don't have the foundation to know how to manage or generate your money?
Yeah. Not everybody. The problem is there are actually some of these people meant in the German bankroll, but it will surprise you that the majority of them are even women.
And don't get me wrong.
Yes.
I believe that, of course, you're going to have men that will support you.
Yes.
And believe in your journey.
Yes.
I have my parents, I have uncles, I have brothers, and you have friends. Do you get? Of
but
course.
Mariam, when we talk about men bankrolling, that is not what they mean.
Yeah, they may be boyfriends or sugar daddies or whatever they call them. But still, I believe that you can actually have support from men. But it's painful to take your credit and attach it to another man when you know you've done a lot for yourself as well.
If your business doesn't exist, what would you be doing? Because your dad is what?
He was
a politician and your mom is a lawyer.
Yeah.
So, and you are an entrepreneur. So, if you want to maybe be in the professional seats like your parents, where would you be?
An architect. Okay. I love drawing and I have the talent for it. So I've always wanted to be an architect and I wanted to study architecture, but I didn't pass the course of architecture. So I settled for geography and I'm pretty good at that. So maybe I can apart from.
Okay, that's very close to drawing henna.
Yeah.
So if you're not an architect, you're a beauty
because
architect.
That's who I am, because I think when you are born, I don't know, from a very young age, since when I was like 5, I knew who I wanted to be. Oh. Crazy, right? But I've always known who I wanted to be in the future. And I think I was really born to be who I am today, because everything I do, it's not difficult for me. It's like, oh, I was born to do this. Because you were already thinking about the future, even when you don't know, you have to make money, you have to earn. There's something about making money from what you enjoy doing. You don't see the difficulty. Exactly. You don't get to live it when you face challenges. Exactly. So let's move on. Every successful business, come with a business idea. Okay. How did Phenomenal by Mariam? Now let's go to Phenomenal by Mariam. What's about the idea of Phenomenal by Mariam? Okay. Phenomenal by Mariam is built on girlhood, because as I've told you before, I love beauty. And me loving beauty is me wanting to see other women be beautiful through my fashion, hair, makeup, everything. So Phenomenal by Mariam, when we talk about Phenomenal by Mariam, it's just about femininity. Who are you as a woman? What empowers you? What do you want to become? Okay, thank you so much, Mary. Let's go for a quick break. When we return, we'll be talking more about Phenomenal by Mariam. You'll be telling us what problem you're trying to solve by bringing up this idea. This is actually an interesting aspect that I've been waiting for to converse with you. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be going for a quick break now. When we return, Spotlight On is still on.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is still Spotlight on S24 television, and we've been talking to Mariam Barwa, the CEO of Phenomenal by Mariam. A lot of ladies will be interested in this segment because we'll be talking about what Phenomenal by Mariam really entails and which caliber of women does it actually belong to. So tell us more about this brand of yours.
Okay, people know Phenomenal by Mariam now mostly through our hair care because we've helped over 20,000 women achieve longer hair. Wow. Because, you know, as Black African women, we're always being told that the texture of our hair doesn't grow. It's very hard for you to grow. And people were actually convinced to just put on relaxers because it's easier for you to manage. And I've always said that Phenomenal by Mariam is a brand that is going to prove every wrong stereotype around women and African women. Yeah. So we created the hair care because we believe that everybody can actually achieve a desired length of hair. And we've been able to do that. You can check the results. Like,
you know, it's hard to believe that there are actually people making something that's, you know, increase the length of African women. And people rarely believe that.
They don't.
But let's move from, we have different aspects of beauty. Yeah. The makeup, the skincare and all of that. Yeah. Why hair? Why did you choose hair?
Because I love my hair. And I think hair gives you confidence. If you're not confident about your own hair, then I think there's a huge problem with that because your hair is part of who you are. And you have to nurture it. You have to take care of it. And because I love taking care of my own hair, I want to give other women the chance to actually have their hands on something rare because I believe my products are rare. So if you have your hands on our product, you're going to know that yes, Phenomenal has actually done something for the African women because if you want to grow your hair, we have a certain product for that. If you want to take care of your hair, we have a certain product for that. So
my question is, what category of women are you actually building this for? Because for something that, if it's actually working, will you agree with me that it's actually expensive? What caliber are you giving it out to? Every grade of African women, you have some particular type of person.
No. Phenomenal is for the African women.
Every African woman can have Phenomenal can
afford because I believe our prices are modest. Okay. Yeah, it's not expensive or let's say cheap. It's modest. You can be able to afford it, inshallah. And I think you've done so well.
So how did you develop your customer?
So it's mostly focused on herbs that are here. Things like I just and if anybody is interested, that was how we started.
It's interesting to know that so many people are actually looking for something, you know, to increase the length of their hair and what so. I don't think there's any business that you bring up that you will not find your consumers because if it can solve problems, definitely you find your consumers. But it's also quite difficult to convince people that this is actually working. How were you able to navigate that?
I think when you're growing a business, trust is everything. When you say your brand offers something, then it should be able to offer that. Yeah. When you say your brand helps with hair growth, then it should be able to offer hair growth. Because I know that there are certain brands that they will tell you that if you use this product, it's going to give you long silky hair, and it's a lie. Yeah. That. So I think for us, Phenomenal, how we were able to grow is because people trust us. Yeah. And I always tell people that results don't lie. Because people are always sharing their testimonies, sharing their reviews that, oh, this was my hair before and this is my hair now after using Phenomenal. So you see, trust is everything. And you have to build that trust by sharing results.
Was there a time when you faced financial?
Because even now, the economy in the country.
So what was your biggest financial challenges? You cannot tell, people will not believe you're facing financial challenges now.
Every business owner faces financial
Okay, let's talk about
challenge.
your biggest financial challenges, what you faced in your business.
I think it was due to low sales.
Okay.
There is always a time in your life or in your career where you struggle with sales, low sales.
Yeah.
But it shouldn't be something that makes you stop. Because sometimes you work so hard, like you put in the work into creating content, you do so many things, and it's still not going to give you any positive feedback.
Yeah.
So, but you have to keep pushing. You can't just stop, because eventually I believe that when you stop, that's your failing point. So you have to just keep on going, because when you started, it wasn't easy and you were able to achieve so much. So why stop now? Even if you're going to have one or two.
During that time, how do you manage to fund your business? How do you manage to keep going?
I just kept showing up every single day. I don't give up.
When was the first time you realized, oh, this business is actually really good?
I think it was 2024, 2025. Because there's this yearly dance sales that we do.
Okay.
And I think that's one of the great things we do for our business that shows we're actually doing well, because see the numbers.
Yeah.
I will see people from so many countries, Ghana, Togo, UK,
Wow.
US, ordering from us during those sales. Even though, yes, on normal days, you get orders from other people like outside of the country.
Yeah.
But seeing so many countries that I've never heard
international
yeah.
yes.
Ordering from us means that, oh, I'm actually doing something
And
good.
that's actually interesting, because it's not just your advertisement, but it could be referrals, it could be testimonies from so many people. So if it's actually not working, it can't get to that level.
That's true.
Do you experience failure before finding success? Before getting to this moment?
Everybody does.
The reason why I'm asking, because some people will never think, they will never assume, because you always come out glowing, you represent, you're showing up. So many people will never believe there were actually difficult times in business.
I don't even know what to say, but there have been days where you feel like, oh, what am I even doing? Is this even going to work? Am I just doing this for fun, or should I just give up? Do you get?
Yeah.
Because every business, sometimes it might not be financial difficulty. Sometimes it can be mental difficulty.
Yeah.
And there are days where I'll just maybe take a month off without showing up, because I just feel tired. Sometimes maybe you're not getting the support you need, because as humans, you always need support. So, but I believe in prayer. Sometimes when you feel down as maybe a Muslim woman, you tend to cry to your Lord, of course, and things will get better with time.
So what separates your brand, Phenomenal by Mariam, from other beauty brands? How did you stand out?
Phenomenal. We are phenomenal. That's just it.
Okay. So many people believe entrepreneurship can be especially challenging for young women in northern Nigeria. We've talked about that before.
Yeah.
That has been your experience. Yeah. Have you ever been underestimated because of your age, because of your religion, or because of culture?
I think or people that are way older, because I'm someone that likes to learn. So I don't want to stay within maybe people to interact with people that oh, are you sure you're 25?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
interesting.
I think,
were there any sacrifices you make in order for you to be where you are today?
I've made quite a few, but it's not something I want to mention here.
But how were you able to, do that, to walk through?
I'm
This
stubborn.
is for so many northern women that are looking up to you. You never can tell. So many women are looking up to you. Even if women and pride, they might never come and say, oh, we admire you or something. They might be part of those people that come to your comment section and say, I wonder what is she even doing? But they wish to be like you.
That's true.
So how are you able to, maneuver challenges?
Honestly, I think it's for you to just go. Men. Yes. Sometimes you even get the harshest of comments like you, and you're like, oh, why is the woman attacking me? Are you not supposed to be proud of me? Yeah. I feel when you're growing, at some point it gets to you, someone will say, oh, she's a prostitute. Do you get it? Of course, it's going to get to you because you know you're not a prostitute.
Yes.
You're just simply here existing and looking for your own money. So you have to grow a very thick skin so that anybody that says anything about you doesn't get you. Because I believe that anybody that wants to be successful or anybody that wants to be known or build a legacy, there were times where they were like insulted. There were too many harsh words thrown at them. So you just have to believe that you to be that person too, you have to go through that and you have to not let it get to you.
Let's move away from society now. How was your family? How did they react when you decide to, move away from, for someone who have professional parents, move away from being a professional to an entrepreneur? What was their reaction?
My parents have always supported me. As I told you, my parents are go-getters and they've never limited me for once. But of course, here and there, they always say, oh, you're supposed to marry because maybe your age mates are married with kids and they feel like, oh, maybe even if, because
maybe they're just scared you're exposed.
Yeah, and they said that sometimes men don't like highly intellectual women.
Wow.
And they will tell you that, oh, you should not aim too high because men will be intimidated by your success. Do you get all of those tiny?
That is what we get in Africa. For other places, other continents, I think they might say that, oh, this person is intelligent. She's even, it's like a criteria for a good woman to be married. But in Africa here, men get intimidated.
Of course.
And especially, and let this not come from me, but I think northern men get intimidated because this person is intelligent.
Yeah, of course.
Why is that? Does it affect the marriage? Does it affect?
I think let me give you an instance with me. There was a time I was seeing someone and it led to marriage talk. He was like, oh, I think I can ever marry you, Maria, because you're just too stubborn and I don't think you're going to be a supportive wife because you think highly of yourself. Do you get? And he thinks that's all because I have my business, I run my business, that he doesn't have anything over me that he can control me with because men use money to control women. Yeah. So what if you have your own, you have leverage, you can't use anything against you because they feel like you're going to go with the marriage because you genuinely want to be married, not because of him providing you. Even though the sole purpose of men is provide, right? But still, they feel like, oh, maybe she had what you're supposed to protect and you're supposed to provide. So if you feel intimidated by my little success because provide. So if you feel intimidated by my little success, because mostly you would want to marry someone who is doing way better than you are, right? So that's just how many.
It's actually very funny because I do not see what is intimidating about that. Because a woman has high intellectual values, a woman has a money. It doesn't stop her from being submissive. I think they're just being intimidated for nothing.
Yeah.
So do you think, because of this now, what you've just said, do you think, especially in Nigeria, do you think enough opportunity exists for northern women to thrive in business?
Of course. There are a lot of opportunities for you to venture in. There are so many type of businesses. You see fashion. Fashion, I think, is one of the most growing industry in Nigeria. Venture in that. Hair care as well. Makeup, cooking. Like, there are so many things you can venture in. And I don't think just because you're a woman, you should feel like, oh, maybe there is no enough business. For even real estate, you can be an engineer. You can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
It doesn't limit you just because you're a woman. You can go for, if you want to be president, you can be one.
Of course. When some men hear that you want to be president, it just feels like you're just saying trash.
Yeah.
You're not enough to mention that you want to be president.
If I want to be president, I'm going to be president because I believe in myself.
Of course. Because what difference does it make that a man said, okay, I want to be president, to a woman saying, I want to be president? So let's go for another break. We'll be back shortly. We've talked about what about criminal. We'll be not. It's not just about the sacrifice and readiness to be able to thrive in whatever challenges you're in business. Let's go for a break. Back if you're just joining us, this has to support it all. And I'm here with Maria Barba. We'll be talking about what I know Maria. No matter how high your pay is as an African woman, there is actual solution. That's if you can afford away from what is her brand. We talk about the business trust. Beauty is a competitive industry.
Yeah.
Why should customer trust your product?
Okay. I think I've answered this before, but I'm going to repeat it because I've always said that a brand should be as transparent as possible. And through that, you're going to earn people's trust.
Yeah.
Right? So when you come out to tell people, as I've said earlier, that, oh, my product makes your hair grow.
Yeah.
Then when people use your product, then you should be able to make their hair grow.
Yeah. Talk to us about quality control. How important is quality control, maintaining that same quality and making sure that no one is adulterating your product?
I think for me it's because I make everything by myself. You get? From the production to packaging and everything, I do it. And in case I don't have to do it, I have to be there to supervise.
Yeah.
And make sure that everything is up to a standard. So there's nothing about maybe well, how should I put it? Compromising your quality because, or maybe let's say, for example, the economy is no longer smiling at people.
Yeah.
So certain products or certain raw materials that you would want to get for your products or for your production, it's going to, you just have to do it. You can actually maybe increase the price of your product to maintain the same quality, but I don't believe in keeping the same price but then reducing the quality of a product.
Okay, there are sometimes when no matter how you try to satisfy customers, there are people that will always complain. It might be even from competitors.
Yeah, sure.
Have you ever experienced criticism?
Shop from your feedback. We've got so many feedbacks. But out of the feedbacks we've gotten, I think we've gotten 98% positive reviews. And but those 2% percentage, I've taken it so important to actually know what the cause is because you can't satisfy everybody, number one. But then you actually, the opinions are also valid. So you have to look into what don't you like, how can we improve, and how can we make that effect.
So you've dominated social media a lot. Yeah. Talk to us how social media helped your business. Because we've been talking about how social media is difficult, how there can be backlash and all of that. But how has it also helped your business?
I think social media is one of the greatest marketing tools because how you tend to reach a broader audience worldwide. It doesn't have to be Nigeria. And that was how I was able to generate my own audience through social media. Because without social media, I wouldn't know any customer from the UK or from anywhere apart from even in Nigeria. You have to go out and be saying, "Oh, hey, excuse me, I'm selling hair products."
Yeah.
Do you get? So
let's talk about your success. Let's talk about the pressures that come with success and the expectation from people. Trying to meet up, trying to represent anytime to show that okay, you're actually earning from this business. Do you actually believe that success comes with pressure?
I can't really say where we want to be, but Alhamdulillah, we've come a long way because